got set for live chat. Let's see who else here. Monday. I know there's a lot of people that probably aren't wanting to work. It's just about 11 o'clock. Let's see. That lens might be a little dirty. That's part of my problem. There it is. Hey, there's a person here. Who's the first person here? Let's see. Who's all here? Sean Liu. I can't tell if my hat's crooked or if it's my face that's crooked. Nah, there's 6 people here. It is bright today. It's already 80 degrees. I'm sick, so I'm inside because 80 degrees even outside, 76, almost 80 degrees, 76, 77 degrees. I'm still chilled. So we went to my daughter's ice skating yesterday. Yes, she did take first again. I wanted to thank everybody that donated the other day to the GoFundMe. I can't tell you that means a lot. I've got to keep it going, but it means a lot that you guys were willing to do that. And like I said, if you don't want to donate to it, share it. But I just took first. We didn't get home until 9:30, 10 o'clock last night, I think. No, I think it was like 9. I think it was 9 when we got home because she went to bed. Hey, where's everybody going? Where'd everybody go? I wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff. Let's see, who else is here? Sean's here. Steve Bledsoe's here. 4 people here. How's the feed? Is it clean? I've been messing with some of the settings on my internet. Am I getting a clean feed? So I'm gonna try and do some stuff today. I have. Hey Charles, that's cool. So your knife is here. I wanted to ask you while you're here. Do you want me to hold on to this? It's got there's a weirdness to the detent on this. It needs cleaned up real good. And just wonder, it's got magic marker and stuff all over it. I just can't quite put my finger on what's wrong with that detent, so I haven't taken it apart yet. Do you want me to get everything else ready for you, Charles, and ship it, and then get this done? Because I mean, I'm conflicted. I wanna get it all done here and send it to you. But I also know I've got so much of your stuff that has been here for so long. So, I mean, it's up to you. I'll do this. I have another knife that I have to refinish this weekend. I will get this done. I was thinking about doing black. And maybe trying to mask that a different color and see. So maybe do an ano. You know what I could do? I could do the same thing I was planning on doing that other one. Tell me how you feel about this, Charles. I do black and then tumble it, and then this will stay black. And then we do the scales. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It would look better just black with a yellow ceramic blade. So I do want to do a comparison. Jesus, the detent on this is stiff. I want to do a comparison between this and the original 228. So I'm going to try and do that today. It just depends on how I feel. I think most of what I'm having going on is allergies. I did film the video yesterday at my daughter's ice skating, and I will be posting it up. Notification gang, morning. I've got to get some way of getting it figured out. No one gets notifications. And I think a lot of times people subscribe and they forget that if you want notifications, you got to hit the bell. I think that's 100% what it is. People aren't clicking that bell icon to be notified when I post things. Because if you subscribe, you'll get notified sometimes. If you hit the bell that says you want all the... I think my fever is coming down. I look horrible. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. I guess got to make sure people know to hit the bell icon. Most people do, though. I mean, I think everybody knows that at this point, but there's just some people that aren't getting notifications at all. So I have, ready for this? I have the prototype of this. This is the actual prototype. Production Prototype 1. Elliot wanted me to, before I decided I wanted to do S90V on anything with his heat treat, he wanted me to see, he's like, I know you sharpen S90V, but you have not sharpened it with this crazy heat treat that, Elliot uses a crazy heat treat on everything. He does amazing stuff with steel. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it home and sharpen it. And then I put it on the stone for a minute, and I was like, I don't think I like this. Why, Elliot, why do you have to ruin things that I like? Because I like S90V steel. It is a good steel. So, more horrible than standard Monday morning, Mike. Yeah, I don't feel the greatest. I really don't. And on all the stress, like when I was talking to you guys, I still haven't heard anything from Yakov. I don't know anything about what happened. I mean, I hope he's okay. But on the flip side, I'm gonna be real upset if that was one big elaborate practical joke. So this one does not have near the stiff detent that this one does. So these were S35BN. And these were made by Riyat, and I know this because there's a whole big area back here that's just not sharpened, and Riyat has gotten, it's one of the things, I'm going to say something right now, that Riyat has gotten bad about not making sure that they're sharpening those all the way back. There is a really big flat spot right on the back of this here. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Can't think of much anything. What's everybody else got going on? Oh, hey guys. We're gonna try something. I'll be right back. So, day off. Hey, Jack. So, what I was going to try and do was, you guys know I've been trying to sell this, right? And I did the auction on Instagram. There's 12 of us here. Is there anyone here that would be interested in this one-of-a-kind, handmade Smatch-It? Maybe we could just sell it now. Because I put it up for auction and I don't think it got much traction on Instagram. So, who here is interested in the Frederick Smatch-It? I'm just wiping. It gets nasty stuff off from the sheath. True Hamon, 1095 steel, zirconium bolster, carbon fiber, lightning strike carbon fiber handles with an Era authentic leather sheath. So whoever's interested in this, if there is anyone, contact me. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're thinking I'm trying to get out of it, because at this point, I gotta sell it. But yeah, the auction didn't go anywhere, and I didn't do a real good job of publicizing the auction. Yeah, I think I grabbed it from Matt. Hang on just a second, guys. I'll go grab it. So I mean, the knife is still the same. It's just that the handle materials. Here, I'll flip you around so you can see the handle material. Oop. It's just a different type of carbon fiber. It really isn't that big a difference. I'm more prone to say that I like the marble carbon fiber than the kind of fleck pattern you get in the shredded. So, I mean, they were both carbon fiber handles. It's just that the other one was shredded carbon fiber, and I just think it looked a little better, the marbled carbon fiber as opposed to the shredded. So, and then Matt and I got them sitting horizontal. The nice thing is, Matt's left-handed, so he has his flipped the other way because he wants it horizontal cross draw. I want it this way, horizontal cross draw. The nice thing is we didn't have to readdress the issue of changing a tech lock because the sheaths and the knives are so consistent that you can take one and put it in the other. It doesn't matter. So that's the only problem with some of the custom sheaths like the stuff Matt has. Every one of my knives is a little bit different. So it's not like I can just have him just make me like 5 or 6 sheaths. They all are different. As a matter of fact, I got a box of stuff that's got to go to him today so that I can get the sheaths made for that, so then I can send them off for laser. I did a batch of 9. But that's not what we're talking about. We're trying to sell this to one of you lucky individuals that could have access to a full custom, one-of-a-kind, never to be made again, Aaron Frederick Smatch It in 1095 with a true Hamon and temper line. So, I need to sell it. Marble is nice. Lots of options to aftermarket scales. Yeah, I mean, the scale, it'd be pretty easy to duplicate scales. I think they need to be a little bit thicker. I think I want to add 1 millimeter across the back. I think that 1 millimeter across the back would be good. It's not uncomfortable now. I just wish it would index a little straighter. I guess it's not bad though. It is nice and slim, but it's also slick. That's the part, I like the carbon fiber. It looks really good, but I did not really think about the fact that they might be slick. So, you know, that's G10. That's what I'm thinking. As I'm going to tell him, while I like the carbon fiber, it's really attractive. I think we need to go with G10. So, let's see. They're screwed. There's no glue. They're screwed in. I took the handles off of this the other day, I think, in the live feed. No, I didn't. I took it off after. No. It's a solid piece. There's just 2 holes. Or 3 holes. The handles are on 3 holes. It's not skeletonized. It's not that heavy. This weighs... It's not skeletonized. There's 3 holes. So if you're trying to do like a paracord wrap back and forth, I don't think you would get where you're going. It would slide too much. I've made knives that down the middle I cut a groove and I did a back and forth and it almost looked like a what am I going with here? It looked like a Japanese handle on a samurai sword, the wrap. Let's see, what else we got going on here? That's it, guys. I don't really even have that much stuff here. I've got stuff that I've got to do at the shop, and I've got some stuff I'm gonna pack up today and have out tomorrow. But the problem also is, like, I had this stuff that I was gonna do today, my daughter has a short day from school. I weighed it in a video. I weighed it in a video. I don't have my, hang on a second. So guys, I have some other bad news. I will not be going to Blade. And the reason I'm not going to Blade, what's up, Brad? The reason I'm not going to Blade is the whole thing with Yakov. He had apparently said he purchased our tickets to the show, and he said that he had said he had purchased tickets to the show. He said he had a place for us to stay. I can't trust all of that, you know. So anyway, let's take a look. So grams, you want to know what it was in grams? 166 grams. So I think it's right at 6 1/4. 5 7/8, I'm sorry. Yeah. Wait, what's that? What? I was thinking about non-coating the area under the handles. Will it make it easy? I can't, here's the thing. I can't nano coat that thing because there's just no way to get it in the ceramic solution and then bake it. It's too big to bake, so it wouldn't. I don't think it would do very well. Your Hornet is just too. But the thing is, the finish that's on it, with it not being a blasted and tumbled, I don't think it should rust as much. And plus, 20 CV is not that rustiest. It doesn't rust very. It's kind of hard to get it to corrode. You can do it with the heat treat we use because there's less chromium that is available at the surface. More of it gets absorbed into making carbides. And so this is how stainless steel works. So let me do a quick. We'll do some. I know some of you guys like the science stuff. Okay. So the reason that stainless steel is stainless is because it has a fairly high chromium content. Depending on your heat treat, what happens is carbon, let me find some. Okay, so this is a chromium atom. Chromium is chromium's a big atom. And then you've got carbon, and they combine to make chromium carbide, which the more carbides you got in your steel, the harder, tougher, stronger it is. But when you're taking the chromium that you would be using, because what makes stainless steel stainless is the chromium. And so what happens is unabsorbed chromium that doesn't get absorbed into making carbides, will be at the surface and it forms chromium oxide, which is impervious-ish to corrosion. What's up, Sean? I just saw your text. My wife actually went to work. I'm not foreseeing her being there all day. I mean, she only works like 3 hours today, 2 hours today, but I'm fully expecting her to show back up. But anyway, so what happens is the chromium that doesn't get absorbed into the process of making carbides will be on the surface, and then it oxidizes almost instantly with oxygen. And it forms that layer on the outside that prevents some of the rust, because now you've got a chromium layer on the surface. Well, when you do these heat treats that we do, super high critical temperatures. So like when I do 20 CV, I don't take it to 1600. Yeah, I don't take it to 16, 18, 1900. We take it all the way up to 2200. No, not like kind of like a patina, but it's shiny, it's clear. You can't really see it. So when we do that super high critical and then quench, what we've done is a lot more of that chromium has been absorbed into making carbides. That's why the steel's harder and tougher. If you guys have got one of my Hornets, you know they hold an edge a really long time. It's really hard to chip or break. I've got guys in the military that I've made these for, and they have beat on stuff and things like that. And yeah, I've had to resharpen, but it's really hard to do a lot of damage because at the critical temperatures we're using, Rex 21, fuck that shit. At the temperatures we're using, what happens is you get that. Not only is it really hard, but we've maximized wear resistance and impact resistance, so it's a lot harder to chip it. And then we do a 2-cycle temper, where we take it and soak it in the temper, as opposed to like you see some guys will do a temper, they'll just heat it up, get it to a temperature that where it's straw, and then they set it aside and let it cool. We don't do that. We soak it at that temperature for 2 hours, and then we take it out, let it normalize, let it get to room temperature, and then we cycle it again at that temperature for another 2 hours. And so instead of just only doing the hardening and then a quick temper, we've maximized all the stuff in that steel. But that's where I'm saying is, that's when you start getting some of that chromium that would be absorbed onto the surface that gets incorporated in with carbon inside the steel to make the carbides that make the steel harder, stronger, impact resistant, wear resistant. And so that's how you maximize. But like I said, that means that there's a little bit less of the corrosion resistance. You have to get one, you have to give up the other. You see what I'm saying? And so we tried to find, so the stuff that I do, because you have to let it, okay. So when you do it for 2 hours, you're starting to allow it's 64, right about 64-ish. There's some variance between 63 and 65 is usually where it comes out. And so anyway, and so we don't even test them because it's been done. We do it the same way every time, so many times that it doesn't make sense to send them off and keep getting them tested. So those are the ones I make. And so when you do a 4-hour cycle, you really don't get anything. You have to get it, you have to relax that structure and then let it sit and let it fuse a little bit and then relax it again. And it's that chemical reaction that happens in the steel over a long time. And you have to do the temper immediately after like you have to get started on the temper right after the quench, because what happens is at 2200 degrees, you've changed the entire structure of that steel, and you cool it real quick and lock it in. But what happens is it's locked in, and it doesn't want to stay that way, and it could just crack. If you let it sit too long, it just bink, and you'll hear something crack. And so that's the scariest part, is when you're doing the quench between two aluminum plates, because you're taking it from 2200 degrees to about 400 degrees in a matter of just like seconds. And so there's a lot of stuff that goes there. I'm not taking any new orders right now. I'm not taking any new orders right now. I got to finish the ones I have. So you don't, that's why I don't grind before. Everything gets ground after heat treat, which does make it harder, but there's like no chance that you're gonna have any problems with your heat treat and quench, because basically I cut the billet out to shape, and I don't do any bevels. I don't do any edge grinds or anything. I'm doing good, Drew. So you do that, and then after the quench, then you start your temper cycle. And like I said, you got to have that break in there, because what you're doing is you're relaxing it and then freezing it in place and then relaxing it. And so over that longer period of time with a normalizing thing where you let it cool down and then bring it back up, you wind up getting the best out of it. So one winds up being a temper, and then the second one winds up being a secondary hardening. And so with that secondary hardening, you can get it past where you'd ever be able to get it with a single harden and temper. And it's just looking at the charts where what temperature you take it to at critical versus what temperature you take it to on your temper. And then one day it just happens that at one point you reach a peak, and then after those temperatures you start to see it. So you wouldn't want to go any higher. So at the point we're doing it, going any higher doesn't get you anywhere. But the daughter took first yesterday. I'm having a hard time getting the video loaded today, so it's being a pain. It's being a pain. So I don't know what's occurring. So like I said, I am gonna try and shoot another video today though about this. Yeah, I might do it as a premiere. We could do that, but it's just my daughter's ice skating. So if I'm gonna do that, I should probably do it now. So I need to get off of here then and get that video loaded. I couldn't get it to load this morning. It did not want to load, so I'll try it again, but I'll show you why I'm gonna need a new bigger room if I can keep this place without losing it. It's getting really tight, guys. money is tight as fuck. We have to get my daughter new boots because that's the whole thing is that. Lionel Marks, I just said, I'm not taking any orders right now. I do ship overseas. If you want stuff sharpened, I do stuff for Charles and I do refinishing, but I am not taking any new orders at the moment. So this one is the one we brought home yesterday. This one is the 2018. There's 2019. This was the finals for last year. And then there's all of her, because almost all of these are first place trophies, but they just didn't have physical trophies for all of them. Sometimes you only got a medal. Like this was first place. That was first place. I think she's hidden all the ones that weren't. This one was first place. This was, oh, this was something they gave her for just performing. But see, she hid her ones, all of her ones that were like just, what do you call them? Participation? Participation trophies are hidden underneath. And the one she doesn't want ever to show, and I don't know why, is she took bronze in the California State Games. And she has that one hidden. So she has all of her, she has her, my daughters. So that's all her skating stuff. And then she was really into, she got to meet Corey Andrews a couple times when we went to the racetrack. And so she's got an autographed picture of Corey Andrews. So, but yeah, it's like I was trying to tell somebody, they were like, well, why do you need like $10,000 for the GoFundMe? I mean, that's not gonna cover the season. I was like, that's basically ice time and coaching fees. It doesn't count. Like yesterday's competition cost us like $400. Just talented little ones. Bugger. Oh, okay, I see. So like people are like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, she has a, I can't. I can't. Here's the thing. You guys, like Lionel, I don't know if you're new to the channel. I can't talk about knives that I don't ask me like, don't ask me, what do you think about the ZT and then a model number? I don't know. I don't remember that stuff. I have, lately it's been less, but I have at least 4 or 5 different knives on my bench any given time. I can't remember all of them. I don't remember if I liked them or not. I know that a lot of the ZTs are nice, things like that. I don't follow any other YouTube channels that are knife stuff, really, stuff like that. So what's up, Robert? So basically, if you want to know about a knife, you should probably find a review about that knife or see if I did a review about that knife, because I don't, when I get done working with knife stuff for the day, I don't want to have anything to do with knife stuff anymore. So yeah, I got a new Spyderco smock. It already, you know what? Phil had the Spyderco smock with him when he came down that time on a Friday night and hung out at the shop. It was, it was kind of weird. David LaRue. So I was talking with Brian and I were doing the web page, stuff. A lot of people hate on the smock. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the original smock, the custom version or the mid-tech or whatever it was. I didn't like that. I did get a couple of those in for sharpening, but what was I talking about? Oh, so guys, so if we get this, if and when we get this website up, that's where all that's where all of the commerce stuff's going to be, and that's where you click and you set up your estimate and stuff like that, and I'll work with you after that. But there's a part that we were talking about. So there's an unseen part of this. Let me put you up there. What you guys don't see is there's a lot of times where I will email back and forth with a customer numerous times. And I mean, there's times where I will literally spend an hour or two
over a period of days, dealing with a customer to get an estimate worked out for them, and then only to have them decide, yeah, I changed my mind. And so Brian was like, well, I've got an idea. What we have to do is, because you've got to make it, one, a way that you're not getting, I mean, you're not going to be able to cover that entire time that you talk to those people via email. And so he's like, you've got to find a way to come up with something that will, one, entice them to continue, and two, you want to be able to recoup a little bit of the cost of that time that you spent dealing with those customers. And on YouTube, I do it because I monetize my videos. Now, I don't get much, so this time is basically, it gets paid a little. And kind of along the same lines, so what we decided we're going to do is, once I get this set up, there's going to be, if you want to do a refinish, because we're going to have to talk about, and I'm going to have to spend more time than just like a sharpening, because that's basically standard and across thing, and it's a standard blurb. But if I'm going to have to deal with like a consulting, like how do you want, what colors do you want, what ceramic, what's this, what that's, there's going to be a set fee for that then gets taken off of the over. So it just basically becomes part of the over if you continue. So that $10 or $15 or whatever it is would be already paid towards the whatever the estimate was. But that way, he said, yeah, you get looky-loos, that they just want to ask a bunch of questions and stuff, but never execute through. And I was like, yeah, I get a lot of that. I spend a lot of time. If you guys were to see how much email I spent the whole morning doing emails. And so out of that 3 hours that I spent going through email and correspondence and all of the comments and stuff like that, I'll probably only see 2 or 3 knives out of that. Because people will get an estimate and then they just like, oh, okay, cool, I'll get with you. And then I never hear anything else. So he's like, you've got to try and dwindle that down. He's like, the web page is going to help because it's going to have a point of sale, and you just basically just made a click. And then you can set up your estimate, and then I don't have to do all that correspondence. And I just basically get a paper stating what the person wants that they print out when they ship it, or that stays on record and stuff. And I'll get notified of shipping. And so that'll take some of that off. But the whole dealing with people that want to do a refinish but never execute, that's the one that takes so much time, because I'm trying to explain colors and the process and what I can do, and a lot of times I have to re-explain things. So it's basically a way to incentivize. No, I don't. I'm getting sick, and so I couldn't sleep last night, and so I was trying to get emails and stuff done. And I got a little bit of work done. I think I have to work on my taxes. I finally got my statement from the bank showing what the business income was, so that I can bounce that against what I paid myself. And so I finally got that, and now I can do my taxes. I only have 15 days to do my taxes, so I think I'm going to work on that a little bit. And then I've got knives that have to go to the shop to be done, so that's including Charles's. So that's where I'm at right now. I think today is just going to be a recover from that trip where we just, it's such a pain. There's so much stress involved with it because we have to go, and so she practices, and then after she practices, she has a downtime, and then she practices again, and then she goes on the ice after that, because there's like a couple minutes of practice before that. So she's on the ice 3 times before her actual performance. But the problem is, you got to be careful. I hate to admit this. You got to be careful around so many skating parents. The wife and I don't do it. I don't give a crap what other kids' routines look like. But you got these parents that will just, I wish I was going to Blade too. But you have parents that will, not just parents, coaches. There we go. I wanted to light that up a little bit. I'm not really actually doing anything in my computer. I just wanted some light. So there's parents that will actively figure out what elements kids are throwing in and try and get what's called their protocol, which shows what they scored because of how their routine was. And so what that allows them to do is they can tailor their child's routine to try and beat your child's routine. And I mean, I understand that's like part of competitive sports, but the way they do it is, it's it's dirty and and so we limit what she can do in the practice because you can actually change elements in your routine. And so some kids go, oh, she did a double. You need to throw a double in so you at least get close. And it's just, it's fucking cutthroat. And my daughter's coach will tell my wife, she's like, look, don't limit her. And she's like, why? Why the other parents are going to, she's like, they can't do what she's doing. Those other kids can't do what she's doing. So them watching her practice gets them nowhere. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can see that. That's nice. So like she was saying that she went into the, they have a room for the coaches and for the judges where they have snacks out for the judges, but the coaches can sit down and eat and things like that because sometimes they're there all day, which we were. And so she was saying that it was after Isabel had performed, and they were like, wow, there's some really good girls out there in that juvenile division. And it's like, did you see that one girl? She had 2 doubles and a triple. And my daughter's coach was like, yeah, that's my kid. And she's like, really? She's like, yeah, she's only been skating for 4 years. And she said you could see all the judges go, what? So she scored 57. She beat the other girls by like 16 points. You'll see it. I'm going to put the video up. I'm trying to, let me see. Did it go up? I'm having problems. YouTube is not wanting to. No, it still did not load. It's error in loading. So I can't get it to load, Jack. I can't get it to load. So, hey, look. Well, it's Monday. Mike Ellner, Crazy Sharp, 17 watching, live now. I can see that I'm live. Yeah, it's just like I said, we have to pay for it. And I say we, I mean me and my wife and now my mother who stepped up and decided she was going to help sponsor my daughter. I have to talk to her today because we have to buy boots, skate boots, because the whole deal was Yakov was going to bring them, and whatever happened to him, like, it could have been something bad. He was going to bring her a pair of boots, and now I have to buy a pair of skating boots. But I have to order them from Italy, because if I buy them here, they're twice as much. So the wife and I are talking about it. My mom was saying that she's like, okay, just let me know what you need immediately, because I literally am close to fucking not being able to keep the house. That's where we're at. It went from skating boots. It went from everything seeming to be okay to just all of a sudden expenses, things went up, fucking shit broke. And I was like, well, I don't have a windfall anymore. I got no fucking money. And that's like, Yakov said he was going to bring a bunch of money for the business to get me from point A to point B. And now I don't have that either. And I'm like, fuck, what are we going to do? So that's what I was going to do. Somebody told me there was a spot here where I could apply for a job online. T-E-R. Okay. So, yeah, it's been stressful. I don't sleep much. I sleep when I panicked. Here's the thing. I can't just do that and just go. What am I gonna do? I mean, I'm just gonna, if I get that job and then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna drive out there and then leave my wife and kid here while she's in school and then try and figure out how I'm gonna sell the house from there. I don't foresee it. Nope, I have not heard from Yakov. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to. There's just no good way to do it. Like, because I guarantee they're not gonna. This is not the right website. I'm gonna have to go back and then. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sweating. I'm sweating a load because I had a couple of people that said that they had part-time jobs that I could take, and I was like, okay. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, we didn't get the contract, so I can't hire anyone right now. So if there's any of you in San Diego, I can move heavy shit. pretty good at it. Let's see. Oh. What are we doing here? Let's see. What's here? So, I don't want to be a bummer. I just want to keep it straight with you guys. What is this? Oh, this was at the Christmas show. So, I don't even have my license expired. Here's the thing. I spent enough time away from Aflac that I'm not. Oh, that's right. I forgot about it. I was so tired last night, Drew. I know we talked about that. I was so tired when we talked about that I completely forgot. And then we had to go to Matt's. I'm still tired. I didn't. You ever have one of those nights where you lay down and you close your eyes and then my daughter was waking me up to take me to school and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even feel like I fucking slept. It's like I had just closed my eyes and she was waking me up again. I was like, I didn't get any good sleep out of that. So, Salvation Army Croc Center. That's the worst. When you know you slept, because I went to sleep at like, I don't know, I want to say, honestly, I was asleep by 10:30. My daughter came in and woke me up 5 minutes to 7. She was like, Daddy, you got to get up and take me to school. I was like, fuck me. That didn't work. I am going to put up that video, guys. So I just hadn't got to talk to you guys in a couple days. So what do we got here? Ooh, I got some stuff coming from Dwayne Smotherman, so expect some knife sale stuff. But let's do it again. We got 17 people on here. We can do this again. Is there anyone who's willing to pony up and buy this gorgeous fucking thing? This thing is. Look at that Hamon. Now, there's some inconsistencies in the darkness because that just happens with the spring steel like this, but I mean, I could always, I'm pretty sure I can redarken this if you guys want, if somebody wanted it. I could re-blacken that blade. That's not an issue, but you can even see the difference in the color finish, the way the blade looks on the Hamon versus the way it looks in the center. Someone should buy that. Because the thing is, I talked to Aaron yesterday, and he's like, man, I was like, hey, you gonna make another Smash It like that one you made that I bought for the Blade show? And he goes, hell, man, he's like, that was such a pain in the ass. He's like, I'm never making another one. He said, but he's like, I will make Smash It, but he's like, I'm never making another one like that. He's like, apparently there was a couple of these that got made, but only one of them survived the differential heat treat. Because it's a stressful process, differential heat treat. I think he switched to oil when he did the differential heat treat to get that temper line. And so, yeah, it's the thing is, it's really well balanced. Hell, I'd even be willing to sharpen it for somebody if that's what they wanted. You heard that. I'll throw in a sharpening. Saw one of these? Yeah, you may have. You may have. There's been a few people that made them here in the last few years. I think Rexford made one. It's sharp. It's sharp as I would want something like that. That's as sharp as I would want it, because if you got that edge too refined, or too thin, I mean, that's a chopper. You don't need a really, it's got some weight. You don't need a really super fine edge on that. You want something that's going to be a little bit stiffer and have more, you know, not quite as thin of an edge, because this is, so what these were, they were a tool that you could use as a shovel, as a hatchet, as a machete, as a close quarters combat tool. It was heavy enough. I mean, you could just smash somebody in the fucking head with this. And so that was the thought process when Applegate designed it and made it in World War II. And then, like I said, Aaron just kind of recreated the World War II ones in more modern material. And so he was saying it's such a pain in the ass. He's just not going to make another one. So this is the only one of these that's going to look like this. There are other Smash Its that he makes
There's not going to be another one with that differential temper and in the 1095 steel, and the zirconium, he said, was a pain. So yeah, if anybody's interested in that, just reach out, let me know. And then I should know sometime, hopefully I should know sometime soon what's going to happen on with these. What's up, Mick? So I'm hoping I can get these out soon, because like I said, the only issue I've got with it is that the handles need to be just ever so slightly thicker. So I'm gonna go with 1 millimeter per side, because that's not that much of a difference. But here's the thing, I don't know if those marble carbon fiber handles are gonna actually be what the handle material winds up being made out of. It's not as grippy as I would like. If you get your hands wet, it gets kind of slippery and it wants to come out of your hand. Now, it's not bad this way, but I think if it was just like a millimeter thicker. Yeah, maybe a millimeter thicker on each side. Half millimeter, I haven't decided yet. But they did come really sharp. You think 1 millimeter, Matt? You think one's enough? Hey, Matt. Hey, I'm gonna send you some pictures of this. Can you help me get this sold? If we post it on a couple sites, a couple different ones, we can probably get this thing sold. I don't think it's gonna be that hard to sell if we just do multiple. And I'm just gonna pick a price, as opposed to leaving it to auction. Rat 1 fixed blade. No, you know what it reminds you? You know what it reminds you? Talking about this? No, a blade on that doesn't, it's way different than a Rat 1. Rat 1's got a way more swept tip. This blade is much more reminiscent of the, what word am I looking for? Oh! The custom Hornet I make. No, I'd say that this looks more like the blade on a Reate Horizon D. As long as I can keep one, I don't know. That would be a hard one to say yes to. I don't know. You have to give me some time to think about that one. I don't have any of my own knives. What's the cheapest steel you request to sharpen? Oh, you'd be surprised. I've gotten some really cheap stuff. I've had stuff come in, because there's people that will send me knives to fix things on for sentimental value. So a lot of times I'll wind up with a really cheap pocket knife that belonged to their father or their grandfather, and it's just like a cheap Imperial or something like that. You don't even know what the steel is. It's just cheap. But the thing is, it has sentimental value. So I've sharpened some fucking shit that was really, really bad. Matt's had me sharpen some cheap shit. I sharpened some really cheap kitchen knives not long ago for a guy, and I was like, bro, you sure you want to pay this much for me to sharpen? And he was like, yeah, these are my favorite kitchen knives. A lot like Matthew. And they were way worse than Matthew's little Chinese kitchen knife. Yep, I've had people that were willing to send me knives that were fairly cheap. I mean, like, and I'm not talking cheap like 40, 50 bucks. I'm talking cheap like 20, 30 bucks. But like I said, they had sentimental value. I had a guy send me a knife that was just a cheap piece of crap, and I kept trying to talk him out of it, and then he called me and explained it to me. I'm not gonna throw his name out there, but what had happened was he and his best friend were in somewhere in Iraq, and his friend got killed, and the knife that was in his pocket, he wanted to just clean up. He really didn't even want it to be sharp. He just wanted it to be cleaned up and looked good, because he wanted to keep that to remember his best friend by. And they were both Marines. One of them, I forget where they were at.
I think it might have been 29 palms. But that, I mean, that was probably like a $15 pocket knife. And I sharpened it for the guy, and I was like, and I understood it was the sentimental value of it. Once he told me that, I was like, bro, it's gonna cost you more than that knife is worth for me to sharpen it. And then he came out with the story and told me, he's like, yeah, here's the thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Because I didn't want to charge him for doing such a cheap knife. Hey, Matt, while I got you on here, I'm going to try and do a video about it later. Get in touch with me. I want to find out, like, all the stuff about the production Chavez, because I don't want to have to look it up. I know it's S35VM, but there's, like, some stuff I was going to ask you about. So just shoot me a couple texts with all the information you got. And I can see what I can see what Mastrop was talking about with some of the knives not getting sharpened all the way to the spine from certain companies, because yours has got, we need to open that up and take that really thick spot out. So I think we need to put this on the grinder and open that choil up ever so slightly. So this is not an unattractive knife though. I really like this. So I know this was Riyadh. I know that this was the first production one that he had done. So, hi guys, that's it. I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna get that video of my daughter's skating competition loaded. If I can get it up, I'll do it as premiere at 1. If I can get it loaded up and ready in an hour. So if not, I'll do it at like 1:30. Okay? So it's almost 12 now. I got to get that done. Nope. Not a word. Not a word, and that left me kind of high and dry, like I was saying. What you guys didn't realize was that there was a whole lot of stuff that we were working on together. Supposedly, if this is a big prank, then it was just like, it was horrible, because when he survived cancer, he was gonna for the stuff, because I'd done that fundraising for cancer and stuff right before he got diagnosed, and I was growing my hair for it. He was like, he wanted to do something because he got rid of his thyroid cancer completely, 100% cancer free. And so he was like, I wanted to do something good because something good happened to me. So he said he was going to bring me all this money when he came that we could use to bridge the gap from right now till the time that these came out and I got some windfall of money and stuff like that. And then there was a big business deal that came up, and he said he was going to sponsor my daughter's skating, and we were going to set up an account, and he was basically going to sponsor my daughter for $1,000 a month for however long, he decided he wanted to. And I was like, I have to do that. That's cool. And he's like, yeah, when we get there, we'll get this all set up. We'll do the first transfer on the 1st. And I was like, yeah, I'll get the bank account. And he had a place for us to stay for Blade Show. And he said he bought tickets for me and Nico and someone else. And so now I don't have those. I don't have the money. I don't have the sponsorship. He was bringing her a pair of boots that if I buy them here are going to cost me like $800. And I just don't have that money. I don't have them. And that's why I wasn't real concerned, because I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I told you guys in the video, that was what was going to get me through till things started rolling again with, like, this comes out production, and now I don't have that. And I'm very, very close to being flat broke. And so there's not much I can do about it. It just isn't. Except, like I said, that's why I keep pushing that GoFundMe. That's why I keep pushing that GoFundMe, because even if I mean, it's for my daughter's skating, but the fact is that money would keep us from, because I can't take her off the ice. I can't. That's the only thing that's her ticket out. It's her ticket out. And so, but the nice thing is, like I said, my mother, God bless my mother, I talked to her and she's like, okay, well, then I'll just do what he said he was going to do. And so I hate doing that, but the fact is that I've never asked my family for any help with anything. And I actually loaned them money to purchase a house and things like that. And so my mother, I told her, I was like, Mom, I'm going to lose the fucking house. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to lose the house. Yuka's going to hate me. I did this. What was I fucking thinking? And she's like, you have a good business. It's just got to take off. She said, you're not going to lose the house. I won't let you. He said, your daughter's going to keep skating. I promise. I'm going to help you. And I was like, her, I believe. From now on, I'm really skeptical about believing anybody until I see the fucking money. And that's going to change the way I do business. There are very few customers anymore that are going to be able to just send me something and expect that I'm going to be... I still have 3 of his knives on my counter in there that I never got paid to sharpen, and Nico never got paid for, because Nico got them for him and he was supposed to send the money and then never got them. So he owes Nico a bunch of money too for stuff that he purchased that's still at my house. So technically they are yours. What are? Oh yeah, there they are. Nico, yeah. So I don't even know. I guarantee that's at least $1,200 that he owes Nico. So what's going on, Nico? I was showing everybody the shredded carbon fiber. Hey, you too, Nico, as well. I want to get this sold, bro. I want to get this sold so that we can at least get Bridget paid back for the money she loaned us for this. And then I had something I was going to do as a giveaway. I don't know if you guys are interested. I'll show you. I was going to do it as a giveaway, but now I think I'm going to sell it. I think I am. Oh, so there's some of you guys that are interested in those triple actions. Okay, thanks, Matt. So Matt, between me and Matt, we have a full set, all 3 of the cold steel triple actions. Matt has them for sale on his Instagram, Matt Martino. So hey, what's up, Neves Knives? So, yeah, I don't... The edge on this one's... Hey, Matt, the edge on this one's better than the edge on the one I left at your house last night. This one's actually... This one's got a little bit better edge. Not much. But it's just ever so... Well, I did do a lot of cutting with the one that I left at your house last night. I cut a lot of stuff with it. You can look at it and see it's cut a bunch of shit. There's scratches on the blade. I used this, the one you left. The one I left yesterday for some food prep. It does pretty good. It's not great for, it's kind of thick for doing a lot of food prep. Like if you were having to cut many like hard vegetables, I think it would pop. But yeah, I cut up a bunch of cardboard with the one that's at your house. This one has got a really keen fucking edge. But yeah, you guys are right. That finger choil is just about perfect. It's not too big, but it's also big enough that even if you've got big, meaty, beefy hands like I do, you can get that finger completely in there and get up on it and do some fine detail work. Oh, yeah. It's hair popping. That's the factory edge on these guys. So, yeah. Well, like I said, I've got to get off of here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reload the video and try and get it up. Depends on how I feel. Depends on how I feel if I'm doing much of anything Friday, except I have work to do. I have 2 knives I got to refinish. I got this one and Charles Anderson's. Oh yeah, he's got your gummies, Nico. So yeah, we'll get a video up of my daughter today. And like I said, I want to get a video of this shot. And then Matt, were you wanting me to sharpen this? Or do you want to do the choil first? So, and then, like I said, Dwayne and I were talking about, it's a bunch of stuff in a box. Choil first? Okay. There's a bunch of stuff in a box that's coming. I got to talk to Dwayne and see what he's want. He gave me a bunch of stuff that he says he never, ever carries. So, I'm kind of tired of Jamesons now. I don't want any Jamesons. I had enough Jamesons that one day that I broke my Jamesons gland. On top of that, if I'm sick, if I'm getting sick, because I for sure thought my wife just had allergies until she started running a fever. and I'm starting to exhibit the same signs and symptoms and don't feel great. Yeah, I had the stout one. That's what I drank a whole bottle of. So if I'm getting sick, I won't be there Friday. I don't want to expose you guys to whatever the fuck she had, because she was miserable, coughing and hacking, and either that or I'll just wear my mask the whole time. I got that dust mask. I can wear that dust mask the whole time. Dust mask, not dusk mask. So, well, guys, it's been an hour. We've bullshitted enough. I've got things to do. I will get the video up as soon as I can, and look for it to premiere at about 1 or 1:30. So I don't have to do a lot of heavy editing. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later.